Okay, now we need to build in a kind of a state machine, because what we need to do now is make the game go game over. Game state is 0, which is standard running the game. So let's maybe in here we can go game state list, and we're going to say 0 is equal to game, 1 is going to be game over, and then I also want to do 2 as a start timer, which we'll do later, so that it goes 3, 2, 1, go, so it doesn't just start. So game state is 0, which means in TIC, if game state is equal to 0, then we are in game mode. Then we do basically everything. Up to here. So all of this is going to be in end of game mode. Game mode. We always want the UI to draw. We always want debug mode to draw. So it'll only yeah, this is fine. Okay. Then when we die, check snake collide, instead of you have died, what we do is we go game state is equal to 1. Make game over. Okay, let's see what this does. We should now, if we now manage to collide with ourselves, so to the right and down and to the left, this should now make us game over, which should make the game stop. It's also stopped drawing completely, which is fine, because now we can do, where's draw? There's draw. Below draw, here, below draw, where we get to draw UI, we're going to do a function called draw game over. For now, and we're just going to draw everything in the state that it was at the end of the game, and then just put game over the thing. Sure, so we call draw normally, and then we do, what's the text thing? Print game over, and we're just going to print this at something arbitrary like 80 text X, Y, color, fixed size, scale. Color, fixed size, scale. Okay. Catch something so that I can make myself go game over. Oh, right, we need to tell it to actually run this. In TIC, if game state is equal to 0, then we do all these things. Else if game state is equal to 1, game over, then draw. What did I call it? Draw game over? Is that what I called it? Yeah, draw game over. Okay, let's see what that, let's look, oh then, duh. And TIC. We're missing the then. Draw game over, which will still draw the way this does, but it won't trigger updates. So run it, catch a couple of things, go game over. Ooh, that is way too big. So maybe put this down to 3. Run it, catch some things so that I'm long enough that I can forcibly That's not bad. We can move this. Should we just put it over here? So X will make like 20. Y will make 60. 60. Getting there. Maybe scale should be 2. That's not bad. Little left. 16. Yeah, that looks okay. Don't know if that's perfectly centered, but it doesn't need to be. Okay. And then over here, we're going to have the high scores and stuff and print those out and so on. The nice thing is this has stopped moving. Maybe I should just rename things a little bit quick. So instead of calling it draw, we're going to draw game. So in draw game over, we're also going to call draw game, and in TIC, we're also going to call draw game. Updates is going to become updates game. Updates becomes updates game. Or what else? Inputs game, find inputs, change this one to inputs game. Let's just make sure everything still works the way it's supposed to. Catch the fruit, catch the fruit, catch the fruit, kill ourselves. Okay, everything still works perfectly. But it means now we can do inputs game over. And in here we can just go if button press the one of the buttons 4. I don't know which one this is. Then we need to somehow reset the game. Can I? No, that's not good. Maybe. Let's just see what. I don't even know if I can do this. Just catch something. And then press a button. Oh, I do need to change the game state back. Game state equal to 0. Back to game. Actually, let's call boot first. This might have some really weird behavior if it even works. Okay, make the snake a bit longer. Kill myself. Press the button that triggers the end of the... Okay, calling boot doesn't seem to do anything. You know why? Because we're not calling it. Inputs. Game over. That is what I called it, right? Yeah. We weren't even checking for the button presses. Okay, kind of what I expected. The good news is, it does seem to work to call boot. So if we can use boot to just completely reset the game to stock. So this is fine, this is fine, this is fine, this is fine. Create the segment. We also need to... Fruit becomes blank. We need to reset T. Basically all these values need to go back to their starting values. T needs to be 0. D equals to 0. Let's see what happens now. It still breaks. And let's quickly see what it does. Let's get a clean error message. Snake attempt to perform a arithmetic function null value xdir in 178. Go to 178. It's trying to draw the snake tail. Why is it trying to draw the snake tail if... Can I do it manually? Can I here just go move just for the first one? Yeah, whatever it was, it's fixed now. Because what happens now is at boot, so in other words, when the game starts up, it calls move at the beginning, like at the end of boot, but at the beginning, do first move. Then when it hits tick the first time, game state is 0. This is right at the beginning when you run the game. Game state is 0. It goes to updates, and in updates, it's no longer 0, so it just runs it as normal. Where the hell is updates? There we go. This is not 0, so then it just does that loop like it's supposed to. So we can now play, kill ourselves, and then press a button to go again. Okay, with our score showing in the corner. So the next thing we need to do, I still have time, is we need to make the outside edge of the board mooi durch us. So where do I call my... Okay, here's check eat, check snake collisions. I think we can do it in check snake collisions because it's the same code. So if the snake is colliding, then game state goes to 1, make game over. And then return. Actually, move is the perfect place to check this. Because the location of the snake head only changes when we move, and it's only when the snake head leaves the board, leaves the play field, that it makes us go game over. But I mean, it'll work here if snakehead dot x position is less than 0, or snakehead dot x position is greater than grid size, greater than or equal to grid size. Wait, so because it goes from 0 to 17, so if it's greater than or equal to grid size, then we've left the board sideways. We've left the grid sideways. Game state is equal to 1. And check. What I do wrong? Am I missing an end? I am. Okay, so now theoretically, if I go left, it didn't work. Okay. To the right either. Why not? If snakehead.x position is less than 0. Let's just check that one for now. So on the left. It doesn't go game over. Why not? Oh, because game state doesn't have a space in the name. That's why. Yeah, we are going game over. It's just not going game over. Okay. So put this back, put my end back, take out this space. Now it should work. So go left, boop. Go right. Now we need top and bottom. Else if snakehead.y position is less than 0, or snakehead.y position is greater than or equal to grid size, then left the grid top bottom. Game state is equal to 1. So now if I go out the top, dead. If I go out the bottom, dead. Okay. Maybe we should make it a little prettier. So if we make the border of the, what color is my background anyway? Light gray. That can be darker. So 15 maybe, or just 0, just black. No, that might be a bit aggressive. Oh, we can do 2 panels next to each other. That'll actually look nice. Right. So we make our background black. Where do we? It's in draw. Draw. No, it's in. Is it in TIC or is it in draw? Draw game. Here we go. CLS. We just make the background black. Then our border rectangle, we're going to make dark green. 7. Okay. So this we're going to make 7. Then copy this line, paste it, because we want exactly the line, but we only want a border. And this we're going to make 13. Okay, and then we need to make the entire snake lighter green. So let's make the entire snake this color. Which is 6, because we also need to draw our segments in that color. So 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. Okay, that looks cool. And now the fruit shows are better. And our board looks neat. Oh, okay. Little problem. The fruit sometimes splats over the edge of the board. I don't know if I like that. You know what? Actually, we can make our border. Draw game. This border that we're drawing here, we can make this one outwards, so it's around the outside of the play field. -1, -1, +1, +1. So the blocks, this block is not actually in the play area, it's outside the play area. Like that. Oh wait, is that width and height? So it actually needs to be +2 for the right edge. Yeah, needs to be +2 for the right edge. Like such. Because now our fruit splats like this will also not be outside the grid. Okay, it's getting there. That score that's floating on the right hand side, let's address that. Let's give it its own little block. So where we draw the UI, at the moment the score is at UI center X, which I still want to center it, but now we'll at least have a better way of centering it. UI box, rect B, and it's going to go from UI center X and border from the top. It's going to be the width of the screen minus border minus UI center X. I'm going to get myself in trouble here. That's the width. The height is going to be the height of the screen minus border minus border. And the color is going to be 13, the same as the other one. Okay. that, oh, and then because this is on the outside of the play field and this is not, we actually need to still minus the 1. So this needs to be minus 1, minus 1, plus 2, plus 2. The reason I say this is going to get us in trouble because we're using UI center X for things that's not UI center X. That's not got anything to do with the center of the UI. So maybe we should quickly rename that UI. Let's call it UI break. I don't even know if it's necessary to pre-calculate this, because the center X is going to be what's important. That's fine. Anyway, let's find all the occurrences of UI center X. Change this to UI break, UI break, UI break. It's a bit more neat, but this actually needs to be UI break plus, how far are we going to go from the left? 4. That looks, and it needs to be down from the top, so border plus 4. That looks good. This thing is starting to come together. Oh, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but TIC-80 has a CRT filter that you can enable. It's F6, or you can do it in the options menu. But I kind of design my games so that they look even better in this mode. I don't know, I just like how this looks. It gives it a much more retro feel, and it smooths out the pixely graphics so that it looks more realistic a little bit. The tail of this snake still looks very rectangular, but look, I'm playing Snake. All the fundamental stuff is in. This is minimum. I'm bad at Snake, but this is minimum viable product. This is the game's done. The game is done. Now it's all down to making it look nice and giving it sound. The juice. We need to give it juice.